In this video, I'll be reviewing the new 2012 11-inch MacBook Air. The Air which we'll be reviewing in this video is the top configuration stock model. So we're looking at an 11-inch display at a resolution of 1366 by 768. We've got a 1.7 GHz dual-core Intel Core i5 processor, which turbo boosts up to 2.6 GHz. And with hyper-threading, even though it's a dual-core processor, macOS 10 actually sees it as 4 cores. We're looking at 4 gigs of RAM, 128 gigabytes of flash storage, and the new Intel HD Graphics 4000. And this model costs 1,249 Australian dollars. This model also retails at 1,099 American dollars. Taking a look at the ports, on the left hand side we have the new MagSafe 2 connector. This is not compatible with the old MagSafe power adapters, so if you want to use your older power adapters with this computer, you need to buy a $10 adapter from Apple. Here we have the new USB 3.0 port, which is very good. Headphone jack and a microphone. Going around to the right hand side, we've got the Thunderbolt port, another USB 3.0 port, and on the 13-inch model, you actually have an SD card slot here, but sadly no SD card slot on the 11-inch model. From a dimension standpoint, it goes from 3mm all the way up to 1.7 centimeters at the back. It's also quite light too, weighing in at just 1.08 kilograms. I can type for absolutely ages on this keyboard, and it's just fantastic. Just like all of Apple's other desktop keyboards and notebook keyboards, this keyboard is very nice to type on. Here is the Apple Bluetooth keyboard, and if I put it on top of the MacBook Air, you can see that, it pretty much matches up, apart from the function keys being half size on the Air, as you can see. See how the function keys are bigger here and half size there. But yeah, the Air's keyboard is very, very nice to type on. Talking about that trackpad, the trackpad is absolutely great to use. It works really well with all the gestures in macOS 10 line. It is a little smaller than, say, the 13-inch MacBook Air's trackpad. It has a whole range of gestures you can use with line, and overall, it's very, very nice to use. Apple's laptops definitely have the best trackpads than any other laptops on the market. When you're in a dark environment, the keyboard automatically lights up, as you can see. This makes typing in the dark a pleasure, as you can see every key very well. You can also adjust the brightness of the keyboard with these two little keyboard buttons here. So you can either turn it down if you want the brightness off or lower, or if you want the brightness nice and high on the keyboard, you just go ahead and hold this and put the keyboard on full backlight setting. So the keyboard and trackpad on this laptop are both best in class. Now let's talk about that display. So looking at a resolution of 1366 by 768, this is not a Retina display. However, it still looks pretty good, but of course it doesn't look as crisp as, say, the iPad 3, for example. But overall, it's very nice. And this is a 16:9 screen. This is currently the only Apple notebook to have a 16:9 display. And what does that mean? Basically, it means that you don't get huge black borders when watching video. So for example, if I take a look at the MacBook Air unboxing I did of this computer, check it out on my channel, go full screen, you'll notice that there's no black bars on the top or bottom. Say if I watch this on my 13-inch MacBook Air, I would have little bars on the top and bottom, as the 13-inch MacBook Air has a 16:10 display. And of course, you guys all know if you watch videos on the iPad in a widescreen format, then you have big black bars on the top and bottom. So this is one good thing about the Air. If you like to watch a lot of movies, then it will pretty much fill the screen. Now, I did Geekbench this laptop, so check out my channel for that video if you're interested. But it did get right around 6,000 points, which for an 11-inch laptop is very good. My Mac Pro, for example, has a 12,000 point Geekbench score. So around half the power of an 8-core 2008 Mac Pro is pretty good for something this small and this light. This computer also feels very, very fast. I edited some YouTube videos on this, and it works very well. There's actually quite minimal lag when you're, sort of scrolling through the timeline, that sort of stuff. It's very, very nice. And of course, opening apps and everything is very fast, thanks to that 128 gigabytes of flash storage. And also on the new 2012 MacBook Air, they added a FaceTime HD camera. Check out my channel. I've got a camera quality test of it on the channel. It's alright quality, but certainly doesn't come close to, say, like the iPad rear-facing camera or the iPhone 4S back camera. But for, you know, just a webcam, it's actually not bad. So, who do I recommend should buy an 11-inch 2012 MacBook Air? Well, if you're a traveler, this would be a great machine as it's very small, just a little over a kilo in a laptop, which is very impressive. It's very lightweight. It's got USB 3.0 now, 2 USB 3.0 ports in fact. So you can buy some cheap USB 3 hard drives, like cheaper than Thunderbolt for example, and get some really nice high-speed external storage as well in this. Of course you've got Thunderbolt, which is much faster than USB 3.0. However, the accessories at the moment are very expensive, and there's not many of them. Also, I definitely would not recommend the $999 US version and $1,099 Australian version of this with 64 gigs of storage, as that is just so small. I'd only recommend the base model if you're not going to store pretty much anything on your computer and all you want to do is web surfing and stuff, because 64 gigs is absolutely tiny. I definitely think that the extra $150 is worth it for double the flash storage. Also, this thing does come with 4 gigs of RAM, but when you buy it online, you can actually configure it with 8 gigs of RAM, and I think it's $100 extra. Now, if you want to keep this for, say, more than 2 years, then I definitely recommend upgrading it to 8 gigs of RAM, as that will future-proof it for a very long time. 8 gigs should do you well, you know, for quite some time. You might not need it now, but keep in mind that you can't upgrade the RAM of this machine later. Talking about the new MagSafe 2 connector, I actually found this to be very annoying. On the last version of MagSafe, it was like an L-shaped connector, so then the cable was like running out the back. This was a lot better. Now this model, it doesn't, you know, run out the back and it just runs straight out, the cable. So definitely in my opinion, this is a downgrade from the previous version of the MagSafe power adapter. So guys, thanks a lot for watching my video review of the 11-inch 2012 MacBook Air. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter over at twitter.com/iTechEverything for updates and my comments here and there. Of course, check out all my other videos on the MacBook Air, 11-inch and 13-inch models. I've got plenty on my channel. Don't forget to click that subscribe button right above, then you'll get all my new videos in your subscription box. Go and drop a comment down below, give this video a thumbs up as I really appreciate it. And don't forget, I'm going to have the MacBook Pro 15-inch with Retina display coming in very soon. I'll be able to do an unboxing, review, screen test, all that sort of stuff for you guys. And in the next video, I'll actually be comparing the 11-inch MacBook Air and the 13-inch MacBook Air. See you guys in the next video.